Hi everyone, been a long time coming this video. I've been meaning to make it for ages. It's been a while since I saw the stuff in Nigel's community section that really bothered me, being somebody myself who has chronic illnesses. Now, it does occur to me that Nigel thinks he's more like Jesus than Jesus was. Possibly even thinks he's superior to Jesus, I don't know, because Jesus was he had too much compassion and empathy really for Nigel. Anyway, let's get down to what happened. I'll try not to make this a long video, but I'm absolutely pissed off with this wanker. I've had enough of him. And to be honest, the biggest test of my faith is people like Nigel. If you want to attract people to Jesus, Nigel, you're not doing a very good job of it. Let me tell you that. Anyway, so the thing that he posted on his community section was about this woman who had complained that she still couldn't eat cornflakes after having long COVID because long COVID affects your taste buds. I don't know what else it was, maybe the motility of her esophagus or whatnot. But anyway, has she tried milk? He thinks that's like a hilarious joke. Yeah, don't give up the day job, Nigel. Oh, you did give up the day job, didn't you? Never mind. So, other people have chimed in with their far right comments about, long benefits. Yeah, says Nigel. Like it. Like he's down with the kids. Hubba hubba. So, you see, the thing was that being a Christian and that, Jesus was full of empathy and compassion and he cured the sick. He didn't take the piss out of them. So, I've done this as a bit of a joke, right? Sorry, boss, but So, listen, mate, just get the fuck up. We all know you're putting it on for benefits. Did Jesus go around saying things like that? I don't fucking think he did. Or calling people scroungers or whatever. This is a young lady from your neck of the woods, Nigel. She's from Rochdale, who actually died last year after her 21st birthday, suffering from chronic fatigue syndrome, or ME as it's sometimes called, which is very similar to long COVID. And of course, long COVID is a post-viral fatigue syndrome, just the same as ME. She actually died of it. I have a friend that I went to school with who also has been very, very ill with it most of his adult life. And he was extremely fit. His family actually used to go orienteering at the weekend. They were really, really like the fit family. They were that family that went away with the roof rack on their car with the 4 bikes on top, right? And he got it too. So it's nothing to do with being fit, not being fit, or being lazy or anything like that. It's just bloody bad luck. And if you get it after COVID, then that's also bad luck. Whatever causes it, it's shit, right? It's no life to be stuck in your bed. It's no life either to be told by people like you, Nigel, that such a thing doesn't exist. Because you also get people like your life is full of irritating crap like the DWP trying to say that your condition doesn't exist, doctors telling you that if only you exercised it would get better and stuff like that. It's people are dying of this, and it's not anything to take the piss out of. He's also posted this comment, as Marky Smith once said, dedication, not medication, your choice. Because we all know, right, like Nigel's down with the posse. He's waxing the chassis or whatever it is with the kids, right? He's like, cool. That's why he's been wearing this red bandana, hat, beanie thing or whatever it is, right? Because he's a really cool dude. Although, like, if anyone actually knows Marky Smith, who is a singer of a band called The Fall, they would actually know that Marky Smith constantly took any substance he could ram into his puny little body. Now, I like The Fall and I like Marky Smith, but you can't sort of live by his principles. And they're not the principles of not taking medication. They're the principles of ramming any substance you can up your nose, in your mouth, and anywhere else you can put it. So you can read this out if you want to. talking about he was very ill at the time, but he was doing a hell of a lot of tramadol, supplementing that with drinking amphetamines. Yeah. But I mean, this was Marquis Smith's life. He was a musician. He was in the pub all day most of the time that he wasn't actually, you know, on stage. Probably he's just as pissed when he was on stage anyway. But trying to live by the principles of Marquis Smith's probably, this is why Nigel doesn't know who Marquis Smith is, because he's trying to act like he's cool. He never was this person that was into bands and music. That's all I'm going to say about that. So this is what Nigel believes. If you were good people, you wouldn't be sick in the first place, would you? Try praying more. Then you'll get well. The amount of people I've had actually pray over me, and I wanted it to work, right? I really wanted it to work, but it doesn't work. Part of my life and my struggle as a Christian is to live with this and get through it with God's help. So the barefaced cheek of this man, he's banned me from his comments, although he claims to be the sort of person who doesn't ban anyone from his comments and that. It's absolute BS. I've never actually said anything really critical of him in the comments. I've disagreed with him about stuff plenty of times, but apparently I'm not allowed to do that. If you're a truther, you have to be a person with a very narrow set of beliefs. They have to be conservative beliefs. You can't go around saying that life in the Soviet Union was pretty much similar to life here, with a few exceptions, obviously. I mean, there was less freedom. There's less freedom in Russia now. There's no freedom in Russia now, is there? I mean, you go falling out of windows mysteriously if you disagree with the government. Anyway, but, he's posted this as well. Finland, what it's like living in a country that still values its own culture. Yeah, you left England, didn't you? How hypocritical can you get? A man who's migrated to another country that believes in national pride so much that he's gone to live in another country. Well done, Nigel. But, it's horribly cold there, so I'm glad I don't live there. That's all I can say. I wouldn't want to live in Finland. Not on your Nelly. Mind you, I don't like this country very much either. It's all the same in every country, though. Truthers know that. Anyway, so what do Christians actually believe? What are they supposed to believe? Jesus being the example of empathy, compassion, humility. Jesus never called any sick person a faker or a fraud. But anyway, so illness and adversity in the Bible. You have to look at the story of Job. So Satan challenges God, saying that Job only worships God because God has favoured him, because Job is doing pretty well. He's got like loads of land, and his animals are all doing well. His family are doing well. He's quite a rich chap, right? So, but he prays and he worships God and is respectful and all the rest of it. So Satan says, "Aha, he's only faithful to you, God, because you've favoured him." So what God does is he takes away all of Job's blessings. He loses his wealth. His cattle are all rustled or whatever. He loses everything. His children are killed, and finally he loses his health. And in the end, he's tormented by painful sores all over his body. And you know what happens? His friends blame it on him, saying that he must have sinned in order to have such a punishment inflicted upon him. So Job's a good man, and he reflects upon the mystery of God. And he knows that he's simply incapable of deciphering the mind of God, because it's far more intelligent than his little monkey mind. And despite what's done to him, he never loses his faith, and God restores his wealth in the end. So thinking of Job's friends, they're pretty much like Nigel, aren't they? You must have done something wrong to get that ill, or you must be faking it or something else. Yeah. That's what the Bible's warning you about, Nigel. Might try reading it sometimes. This is also one of Nigel's things. Like, so what I'm saying is, if welfare didn't exist, all the poor people would disappear. Deuteronomy. The poor you will always have with you in the land. Therefore I command you, you shall open wide your hand to your brother, to the needy and to the poor in your land. Not you shall take the piss out of them and tell them they're not really sick. There's another quote for you here, Nigel. God's grace was so powerfully at work in them all, the Christians he's talking about, that there were no needy persons among them. From time to time, those who owned land or houses sold them, and they brought the money and put it at the apostles' feet, and it was distributed to any who had need. Yeah, I don't see Nigel doing that. Do you really? He's too busy like telling us what fakers we are. So I think this is the last part of the presentation, right? My favourite part of the Bible by far is the baptism of Jesus by John. And of course, John knew who he was. Actually, they were related, right? So John knows who Jesus is, and he kind of says, how can I baptize you, Jesus? You know, you're the King of Kings. I can't baptize you. And Jesus says, yes, you can. Of course, baptize me. That's the humility of Jesus, that he didn't consider himself too great to be baptized by John. And this is something that Nigel could learn a lot from, isn't it? He needs to find in his heart his compassion for his fellow humans. And I really don't see it. You know, I don't see it in so far as I have started to believe that Nigel is not what he claims to be and may not, in fact, be genuine. I'm not saying I'm a perfect Christian, because I bloody well aren't, right? I know I'm a sinner and I repent. But we need Christians that actually embody Christian virtues, don't we? Not Nigel's.